Hi, I'm Jake. I make RPG supplements and videos about Pathfinder 2. Or PF2. I love PF2, and as you've seen lately, I love Tian Xia. It's great. So, I don't know how to pronounce this. Sarangay? I've looked all over the place for pronunciations. If you know, please tell me. I'm going to call him Sarangay, because it looks completely wrong to me, but that's what I keep finding online. So we're going to go over them right now. If you don't want to hear the lore, skip to this time, and you'll get heritages and feats. Yes, hi. It's okay, you can come over here. I must lick the table first, human. You're not that important. Sarangay are Carabao-headed people who have long survived deep in the forests of Tian Xia. Many adventurers have thought them to be monsters at first, but Sarangay are nothing more than a thriving society who value their community and their souls above all else. Their souls. Their cultures are built upon the intense desire to protect their communities and their chosen leader. Their horns are said to be a crescent moon, and their towering statures are said to have come from their ancestors being stretched so far up to reach their father moon, while their mother earth kept them close to her bosom. They're cool. They revere the great Father Moon, their first ancestor, and endeavor to protect and exalt nature above all else, for they understand that they're part of it. Unlike humans, because we're dumb. Sarangay tend to be rare and appear even rarer within the diverse confines of adventuring cities. When they leave their society, it's typically because they either have a duty to fulfill or they must depart in order to save their community. In the rising chaos, so their homebodies. In the rising chaos of the modern lands of Tian Xia, more Sarangay have begun to venture out into the world, either preemptively investigating potential threats or facing a breakdown in their own societies. The most tragic Sarangay are those who wander alone because they have nothing and no one to protect and care for. That's tragic for anybody. If you want to play a character who is at home in the wild, possesses inherent occult power, is sharply aware of their impressive strength, and comes from a proud culture, you should play a Sarangay. If you're a Sarangay, you might show off your head gem to loved ones, but hide it from those that you don't trust. Head gems. Exalt a warrior culture that focuses on protecting what's yours, as well as the forests and lands around your settlements. Be overly protective of those you care about, even to violent ends. Others probably trust your word when you say you would protect the ones you love. They also probably underestimate just how gentle you can be when it comes to those you care for. See, I skimmed this, but I saw names of heritages and feats enough to know that this is more of the bent of philosophical and spiritual awareness that I wanted from the Minotaurs in Howl of the Wild, that I didn't get. So I'm hoping that that's what this is. Physical description. Sarangay are tall warriors with humanoid bodies that almost always have naturally heavy builds. They average at about 6 to 7 feet tall and have visibly muscular physiques. Sarangay very often describe humans and similarly built ancestries as slender, due to the difference between their typical figures. They're also up to 7 feet tall. I mean, they're also, they think of everybody else as short, I imagine. But they're not large. Their eyes are black orbs with white crescents for pupils. They have large clawed hands, while their legs end in hooves that have the capacity to topple trees. Sarangay reach adulthood when their horns reach 2 feet in length. Jesus. Their jewelry tends to include large horn platings, nose rings, and excessively large bangles made of gold common in the forests where Sarangay live. It might make them more targets for robbers. From birth, every Sarangay has a giant gleaming stone upon their brow known as their head gem, aptly worded, which houses their soul. When Sarangay choose a partner, they switch their head gems with each other and are in love for the rest of their lives. Holy crap. Unsurprisingly, Sarangay are belligerent against anyone who would steal these gems. Unfortunately, the size, quality, and rarity of the head gems give them a staggering market value, and their spiritual associations attract unscrupulous magicians. Aren't all magicians unscrupulous? They have no scruples. They're not scrupulous people. Scruple is fun to say. Callous nobles of Tian Xia love to carve such gems into decorations or display the gems upon their desks and in their lavish living areas. Wouldn't that just say, hey, I'm a murderer. How about you? Okay, whatever. Society. Sarangay are strong individually, but together they're considered unbeatable. Most Sarangay communities are small villages deep within the forests, but they demonstrate the same amount of diversity as the other ancestries of Tian Xia. These settlements are built out of houses that can be easily destroyed and remade. These residences can be moved with the shifting seasons and tides to avoid invaders and other threats, and to uphold the proper geomancy of a village. This is cool. The center of a village is always the house of the village chief, usually known as the Datu, or sometimes Ratu. The Datu's house is known as the Kraton, a large multi-storied palace made of the best hardwood, lacquered and oiled, making it less disposable than the other houses. The Datu is surrounded in their daily lives by their closest companions, usually either their own kin or a coterie of vassals who are indebted to the Datu and are obliged to fight as the Datu's own warband of faithful knights. Those Sarangay related to the Datu are often known as nobles, and they can take on any profession of their liking. The rest of the village is made up of commoners who do a large amount of the work for their village. They render a part of their labor to the Datu in return for the protection and prestige of the Datu's stewardship. This hierarchy isn't mandated by some divinity, but rather out of respect for a worthy leader. Datu who are deemed unworthy by the rest of the village are often overthrown by the concerted efforts of the commoners, who then choose a better Datu, who can even come from their own ranks. I imagine that just continues in cycles sometimes. Sarangay hold their gleaming head gems in the highest regard, for the gems are said to contain their souls and all their memories. If a Sarangay's gem is destroyed, it can regrow through the help of a shaman's ritual, but the gemless Sarangay falls into a state of dreamless stupor until then. That sucks! Entire warbands are formed in villages to protect against poachers and adventurers who would steal head gems to achieve untold riches. Adventurers would never do that. Adventurers are the good guys. Just watch our live stream. We'll tell you. We're the good guys. Sarangay usually have names that are 2 to 3 syllables long and that are usually 1 or 2 words depending on the cadence. They tend to have consonants paired together to create hard yet regal sounds that exalt the ancient tongue and names of their ancestors. Sample names: Dakal, Davin, Karatalu. That one sounds cool. Kasta, Kunasi, Makan Vulan. That's one name. Mangiyavu. These are fun to say. Mapia, Nalutu, Ingata, Nikani, Sikamu, Tade, Tulung, Uzun, Vuluvuga. That last one's great. That's 2 words. Vuluvuga. Vuluvuga. I want that name. That's my name now. Beliefs. Despite their inherent occult powers, Sarangay are very attuned to the forces of nature and the rhythms of wild places. They particularly hold the moon, which they call Amavulan, Father Moon, in the highest regard. Sarangay believe their horns represent the moon in its crescent phase, and their head gem is the moon at its fullest. I guess that makes sense. During the full moon, Sarangay perform intricate rituals to earn merit and favor from Father Moon, whom they believe to be their first ancestor. Other than Father Moon and Mother Earth, they pay proper reference to the 1,000 little gods who live in the leaves, in the droplets of water, in the embers of a bonfire. Sarangay believe that nature is inherently divine and alive, living much like they do. I like these people. Popular edicts. Protect what's yours. Seek to understand the duality of the earth and moon. Spend time enjoying the rhythms of nature. Popular anathema. Betray a worthy leader. Remove your head gem without good cause. That's just suicidal. That shouldn't just be anathematic. Like, why would they ever do that without good cause? Okay, I guess that's the definition of an anathema. Yeah, that's anathematic. God. It's like, it's sort of against your nature to kill yourself. Yeah? Anyway. Mechanics of the Sarangay. Rarity, rare. Hit points 8, size medium, attribute boosts strength, charisma, and free. Attribute flaws, wisdom? I never understand that with ancestries that have like animal heads or animal features. Like wisdom is awareness. Wouldn't that be an awareness of nature? Like these people are supposed to have? I don't get it. Languages common and then additional languages based on your intelligence. And traits humanoid and Sarangay. And my screen just got changed because Kitty. Hold on. Dude, what are you even doing? Oh my god. traits are humanoid and Sarangay. Horns. Your powerful horns are formidable weapons. You have a horns unarmed attack that deals 1d6 piercing damage and has the shove trait. That's cool. Your horns are in the brawling group. Head gem. Upon your brow is a gem that houses your soul. When casting any spell or ritual to return you to life, your intact head gem can be substituted for your body. While you can freely remove your head gem, it's typically impossible for another creature to forcibly remove or destroy your head gem unless you're killed or permanently incapacitated first. At the GM's discretion, powerful magic or abilities can circumvent this restriction. If your head gem is removed or destroyed, it can be regrown using a day-long ritual. That's not that long. When this occurs, any remains of the previous gem immediately crumble to dust. So poachers would still want to kill you to get the gem. Great. That is creepy. I hide my strongest vulnerability on my face. It's like Superman carrying around a hat made of kryptonite. Heritages. Full Moon Sarangay. You were raised in a shamanic tradition transcending a single Sarangay community or heritage. You spent your youth under the guidance of a shaman elder who taught you to commune with spirits in the hope that you'll one day use that knowledge to advise and guide your people. Those from your tradition are priests or shamans who channel the spirits and see things others can't. You gain an ancestry attribute boost to wisdom instead of strength, and you gain an attribute flaw in constitution instead of wisdom. I like that. You gain the folk healer ancestry feat. I guess I'll cover this now. Folk healer is a first level Sarangay ancestry feat. Your community recognizes you as a shaman or other animist, a status you obtained through lineage, apprenticeship, or supernatural event. You're trained in medicine and occultism. If you would automatically become trained in one of those skills from your background or class, for example, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus to medicine checks to treat wounds and treat disease. That's cool. That's a good bonus, especially at first level. Okay, so you get that, and you're wise instead of healthy. Dude, you're so annoying. Half Moon Sarangay heritage. You come from one of many traveling communities that migrate seasonally along Tian Xia's vast rivers and mountains, bringing news and tidings to villages along their path. Your people connect Sarangay communities to one another across vast distances and are symbolized by the half moon, which conjoins the light and dark. So too do you conjoin the dark from the bright, the red from the blue, the wind from the sea. Your ancestors were tall and burly with shiny black fur, light spots or markings, and short, tightly curved horns. You become trained in 2 lore skills of your choice, and you gain a +1 circumstance bonus to recall knowledge checks using those skills. Okay, cool. I think that those should fall under the additional lore feat as well. And I think others are going to say that too, because it's just more useful. New Moon Sarangay. Some people call you a dwarf Sarangay and your kind hiding ones. Others whisper you go out with the moon when the moon goes hunting, a common folk saying for when the new moon vanishes from the sky. Your elusive ancestors built their lodgings in the shade of bamboo thickets, and your ancestral communities valued caution and independence, passing down the knowledge of walking lightly and moving like smoke through bamboo. Your ancestors had dark brown or gray fur with white markings, and a V-shaped pair of flat triangular horns. Oh, interesting. Your size... Oh, move, kitty. Come here. Your size is small instead of medium. You gain 10 hit points from your ancestry instead of 8, and gain a +2 circumstance bonus to athletics checks to shove. You're a dwarf Sarangay. The Saran dwarf, if you will. You are so furry and hyper. Waning Moon Sarangay. Your ancestors were named for the moon in transition, ever-changing and ephemeral. They're the keepers of secret arts, just as the waning moon hides its face, and their communities were highly regarded for their storytellers, performers, and artists. You lived among your community on the outskirts of forests or rivers, where many answers came as riddles, and you learned to see the world from different perspectives. Your people are often red or fawn-colored, with prominent eyes and flat, compact horns. You become trained in your choice of acrobatics, crafting, or performance. Once per day, when you roll a critical failure with a chosen skill, you can re-roll the check, taking the new result even if it's worse. Re-rolling in this way is a fortune effect, obviously. I like that one, and it's super flexible. Acrobatics, crafting, or performance. Neat. I like that they all dictate what your colors are. I mean, you can have, like, whatever pattern you want beyond that, or, you know, you can customize anyway, but I like that they give you what the norm is. Waxing Moon, Sarangay. Your ancestors dwelled in the swamps, fens, and flooded forests, where they contended with fierce predators and formed raiding parties to claim scarce resources. Blessed by the growing crescent, you're one of the eviscerators, and you can overcome threats that lurk in murky waters as well as those that hunt on land. You're a powerful swimmer with brown or gray fur and backward or downward curving horns. You gain a +2 circumstance bonus to athletics checks to long jump or swim. Okay, not really sure why they called the Eviscerators, but that's a great title. Alright, Sarangay Ancestry Feats. Oh my god, what? Hi! I love you too! Yes! This is Gast. He's always affectionate. Once you start petting him, you're not allowed to stop. First level Ancestry Feats. I can't click the button. Okay. First level Ancestry Feats. Awakened Jewel. It has the occult trait. You once held the green... Wow. You once held... Motherfucker. You once held the head gem of a deceased ancestor or loved one, and it awakened a mysterious power in your own. You gain 1 cantrip from the occult spell list. As long as you possess your head gem, you can cast this spell as an innate spell at will. A cantrip is heightened to a spell rank equal to half your level rounded up. I expected something like that. That makes sense, because they mentioned occult early on. Next level 1 feat, Crown of Bone. When you came of age, you were blessed by the Mother Earth with a thickened skull, which was celebrated as an auspicious sign among your community. Your horns come together to form a bony plate that protects your head from heavy impacts. The damage die for your horn's unarmed attack increases to 1d8, and it gains the concussive trait. Neat. I like that. That's a cool option. Folk Healer I already read. Sarangay Lore. Level 1 feat. You listened carefully to the tales passed down among your community. You gain the trained proficiency rank in nature and survival. If you would automatically become trained in one of those skills from your background or class, for example, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. You also gain the additional lore general feat for Sarangay Lore. That's what everybody gets. We knew that was coming. Next level 1 feat. I just gotta say, that's an awesome freaking picture. Sarangay Ninja. Why didn't we get ninjas in this book? Whatever. Traveler's Council. Level 1 feat. Prerequisites. Half Moon Sarangay. On your travels, you've resolved countless disputes and counseled those in need. You're trained in diplomacy. If you would automatically become trained in diplomacy from your background or class, for example, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. The first time each day you would roll a critical failure when gathering information or making an impression, you get a failure instead. Okay, cool. That's minor benefit, I guess. Just the first time? Alright. It is useful. Don't get me wrong. It just could be more useful. Level 5 feats. Deflecting Jewel. Reaction. Occult trait. Frequency once per hour. Trigger. You're the target of a ranged attack while you possess your head gem. Requirements. You're aware of the triggering attack. You walk the line between two sides of something, such as belonging to two clans, having a mixed allegiance or faith, or being caught between two possible fates, or two arrows heading for your face. Your dual nature has attuned your head gem to the half moon, and it has manifested the power to ward away attacks by drawing a line between them and you. Okay. You gain a +2 circumstance bonus to AC against the triggering attack. I feel like that could have fit a variety of feats. Like you can cast protection once per day or something like that. Anyway, I like that this is once per hour. It's not just once per day. So that's useful. It just protects you from ranged attacks. Great. Boring, but good. Boring things can be useful. Usually they are. Next feat, level 5, the Moonweaver's Art. You've learned to create minor illusions by collecting strands of moonlight and weaving them together to create small images or cloaking veils. You can cast either illusory object or invisible item as an occult innate spell once per day. I think those could have just been broader options. It's level 5 feat. Okay. Next feat, Smoke Through Bamboo, prerequisites New Moon Sarangay. You've spent significant time slipping silently between bamboo thickets, and your light-footedness allows you to navigate even the thickest forests and brush with ease. When you step, you can move 10 feet instead of 5. Cool! That's great! For an ancestry feat! I'm sorry, startled you. He's delicate. He's a little fluff ball. Mr. Poof. This enables you to step into and within difficult terrain as long as you can meet the extra movement cost. That's really cool. It's just neat. There's a picture of one of them with their head gem. They keep covering it in these images. Next feat, level 5, Tickling Bird Twirl. That doesn't say tickling, it's tickling. I think it's just kind of bird. Tickling Bird Twirl. Reaction. Trigger. You roll a critical hit on a melee strike against your enemy. You trained your footwork by dancing to music between snapping bamboo poles, and your increased mobility helps you succeed when hunting dangerous beasts or fighting multiple opponents. This style of bobbing and weaving in alternating fight and flight disorients your enemies and allows you to choose your engagements. Interesting. After resolving your attack, you can immediately step, stride, or swim. That's a really good feat. Wow. That could happen multiple times. Oh, it's a reaction, so it can happen once. But it's still really cool. This could get you an extra stride or better positioning every turn. I like that. That's good. Smoke Through Bamboo and Tickling Bird Twirl, those are great. Next level 5 feat, Warding Jewel has the occult trait. A life of hunting and battle has caused your head gem to attune to the waxing moon, which has manifested in the power to protect you from harm. Your head gem protects you by making your skin difficult to pierce. While you possess your head gem, you gain resistance 2 to piercing damage and resistance 1 to slashing damage. The resistance to each type of damage increases by 1 at 9th level and every 4 levels thereafter. Awesome! That's just passive resistance. That's cool. That's just great. This is just really good and useful for anybody. I mean, especially people that are going to be in melee combat, but for everybody. Ancestral Healer. Level 9 feat, prerequisites, Folk Healer. Following the traditions of those who came before you, you've learned how to banish effects that cloud the mind, body, and spirit. You can cast a 4th rank Clear Mind or Sound Body as an innate occult spell once per day. Awesome! That's boring, but super useful. I'm only saying it's boring because it's only this or that, and it's not flashy or fun. It's just like a thing that somebody else could do that bothered to take the class that gained access to it. But it's still cool. And quite useful. And having the option to cast either Clear Mind or Sound Body, that's great. I'm glad you're not restricted to one. Next level 9 feat, Paralyzing Jewel. One action has the incapacitation and occult traits frequency once per day. Your dedication to the ideals of art and beauty allows your head gem to access the power of the waning moon. While you possess your head gem, you can overwhelm foes with a sense of reverent wonder. Enemies within a 15-foot emanation must attempt a will save against the higher of your class DC or spell DC. Critical success, the enemy is unaffected. Success, the enemy is fascinated for 1 round. And that's everybody in a 15-foot emanation. That's cool. Enemies, I mean. Success, the enemy is fascinated for a round. Failure, the enemy is stunned 1. Critical failure, the enemy is paralyzed for a round. Holy shit. That's a powerful level 9 ancestor feat. How often is that? Once per day. That makes sense. It's very useful. Next level 9 feat, Spiritual Echo has the occult trait, as like half of their feats do. Prerequisites, Awakened Jewel. An Awakened Jewel is the first level ancestry feat that gives you an occult spell. Spiritual Echo, you possess the head gem of a deceased ancestor or loved one which has begun to resonate with your own. While you possess this gem, you gain the ability to cast a spell as a 4th rank occult innate spell once per day. The type of spell is determined by the clan of the Sarangay to whom the head gem belonged, which you choose when you take this feat. In addition, choose a lore skill to represent knowledge the deceased had. You become trained in that lore skill. If the gem is lost or destroyed, it can be regrown as if it were your own head gem. Neat! Occult innate spell once per day. That's cool. So, full moon. Clan. So, full moon clan gives you spirit sense. Half moon clan gives you status. New moon darkness. Waning moon creation. Waxing moon blood vendetta. Fuck yeah. That's neat and flavorful and useful. That's a really cool feat. So it's customizable depending on what your class is, what your intention is. Good options there, though. 13th level feats. Light Bending Jewel. Your ability to walk unseen through the world has given you the new moon's blessing. Once per day, while you possess your head gem, you can cast either invisibility or translocate as a 4th rank innate occult spell. Invisibility or translocate. Wow. Dimension Door, for those of us old-timers. Cool. Next level 13 feat. Rejuvenating Embrace. You rejuvenate your spirit by taking your rest where Mother Earth embraces Father Moon. When you rest outdoors, you can choose one of the following benefits, which lasts until your next sleep cycle and can't be changed. Father Moon's Vigilance. While sleeping, you don't take a penalty to perception rolls for being unconscious. Holy shit, that's cool. I mean, yeah, not that often is that going to come up, but you don't take a penalty to perception checks for being unconscious. You're just awake the whole time. This is great. Mother Earth's Care. After 8 hours of sleep, you regain additional hit points equal to your constitution modifier plus your level. Shit. Okay, that is a feat that's always going to do something. Damn. That's neat. And strongly flavored for this ancestry. I like the moon and earth thing. Next feat, level 13, Sheltering Jewel. Your head gem has access to the power of the full moon through your determination to heal and protect your loved ones. You can cast Vital Beacon as a 5th rank innate occult spell once per day, so long as you possess your head gem. That is cool. Vital Beacon is anybody can interact with you to get healing. It's great because, like, that is a lot of healing. And, like, if you are in melee combat, people can just heal you without you having to take any actions. This is cool. I know I keep thinking of melee combat with these guys. I don't know why. I think because they look like Minotaurs. But Vital Beacon will be useful anyway, for whoever it is. Because extra healing is always good. 17th level feats. Convocation of Earth and Moon. One action, it has the traits Concentrate, Occult, Polymorph. Frequency once per day. You call upon Mother Earth and Father Moon to fill you with light. A cocoon of moonlight momentarily envelops you, and you emerge in a towering form made of swirling energy, tattooed in stardust and clad in regalia of silver and mother of pearl. This is unnecessarily cool. When you use this ability, you gain the benefits of both the 4th rank Enlarge and Fly spells. This form lasts for 5 minutes or until you use this action again to return to your normal form. Cool. If you have your head gem, it radiates an aura of moonlight, causing creatures that start their turn adjacent to you to become dazzled until the beginning of their turn, unless they succeed at a will save against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher. Great. That's awesome. That's great feat. I have no complaints. That's just useful. And fucking cool. Last feat, level 17, Trample, 3 actions. You know how to leverage your size and momentum when using your horns attack, and can use your movement speed to overrun your foes. You stride up to double your speed and can move through the spaces of creatures at least one size smaller than you, trampling each creature whose space you enter. You can attempt to trample the same creature only once in a single trample. You deal piercing damage equal to the damage of your horn's unarmed attack against these creatures, which can attempt a basic reflex save against the higher of your class DC or spell DC. I don't like this, because you're medium. And none of the none of the heritages start large-sized. You could take the other level 17 feat to get huge-sized with the 4th rank Enlarge. But then you're not taking trample as your level 17 feat. Unless you're using the variant rule Ancestry Paragon, you're not ever going to get trample. So just... Like, if trample also said, you become large-sized. Great! Level 17 feet, it should do that. Some bullshit like that. It's great. Medium... Yeah, that's how I feel about it. And that's the Sarangay. They are interesting, they are fun to roleplay, they have weird abilities, and they're flexible. So you can use a lot of different... You can make a lot of different builds with them. I'm comparing everything to the Tanuki now. Sure, maybe I shouldn't have. I mean, Sarangay is alphabetically before Tanuki, so I would have read this first. If not for the Tanuki. They're not as cool as a Tanuki! But is anything? Thank you for being here. Thank you for the borrowance of your eyeballs and your face holes. If you're a patron, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being with me every time. If you guys want to join us on Discord, then the link is in the bottom of the video, in the description, the thing, you know, where you can also click the link to get this book if you want. But join us on Discord if you want. We just chat all the time, and we are still doing our build-a-build contest every week. It's like the reward for the contest is just your character is going to be on the live stream that I do. It's fun, but it's mostly just to see what we can create. Anyway, come join us if you want. If you want to catch up on the rest of the Tian Xia that you haven't caught up on yet, it's over here. And if you want to see, I don't know, Howl the Wild stuff, because that's cool, it's over here. Okay, thanks, bye.